This is episode 119 of the No BS Coaching Advice Podcast. I'm your host, Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter, and welcome. I like to spend some time weekly talking with you about life, the universe, everything. And today's show starts off with a reflection from yesterday where I got together with a number of friends for breakfast, and we sat around in someone's home. And after, I'd say about a half hour of conversation, I asked everyone, so there's a lot of things that we appreciate, but we don't take the time to really appreciate them. We take them for granted. What are you taking for granted that's important to you in your life? Just take a moment, acknowledge it, and just feel the feeling that goes with that. I think you'll find that absolutely wonderful. One of the men who was there yesterday talked about walking the Camino in Spain. It was interesting because he was a Jewish man who was going to be walking a trail associated with non-Jews. And it brought the thought to my mind about pilgrims and pilgrimage. And as a pilgrim, if we thought of our day as being a pilgrimage to work, a pilgrimage to our home. Now, I know that's not the holy aspect, but what is holy can exist within us. And it becomes something that we take for granted way too often, that we carry that spirit and flame within us that is so meaningful and important. How can we bring that spirit of the pilgrim in deference to the greater good into our work life and into our homes and into everything that we engaged in? It doesn't mean that it's not hard, because there are many things that exist in the world of work, in the world of home, that are hard. They are difficult and are going to challenge us, just as they are for someone who's going to walk several hundred miles on that trail. But how do you bring that spirit into the endeavor and face the challenge while maintaining that quality? We'll be back in a moment after a word from one of our sponsors. For so much of my life, whenever I made a mistake, it was grounds to beat myself up, punish myself, self-flagellation, the whole ball of wax. And, I started to realize that I treated my friends and even strangers far better than I treated myself. Part of being a pilgrim, part of treating my life as being somewhat reverent and holy, is to treat myself with the same kindness as I treat strangers. Could you do that? Could you try and practice? If you make a mistake, instead of going, damn, or some other expletive, and criticize yourself relentlessly, could you just ask yourself the question, okay, what did I miscalculate here? And what might I have done differently? What can I learn from this that I can take into the next situation, knowing that no two are alike and that I just want to do better and learn from it? Could you try that next time instead? People rush to judgment. I know I do, and I fight now hard to guard against it because my judgments are often very harsh. I have opinions about everything, don't you? Really, don't you? Someone says something online, you want to rip them a new orifice, shall we say. And how does that really work for you? Part of practicing a little bit more kindness and a little bit more patience is not just simply patience with yourself, but patience and kindness with others. Can you ask a question instead of immediately making a judgment? Can you avoid the critical, snarky comments? Can you avoid being snide and just say, I'm a little confused here, and go from there? It is hard because we are gripped in a culture now that wants our opinions, that demands it, because it's part of bringing traffic back to their websites. I don't care whether it's Twitter or Facebook. Every time you engage in an argument, they make more money. You waste more time, they make more money. How's that working for you, folks? Is that really what you want to be doing? Again, appreciate, take a minute and value the things that you take for granted instead of arguing and fighting. Look for the commonality rather than the difference. Rather than punishing someone else through negativity, because that's where you practice doing it to yourself, is with others. Rather than doing that, just ask a question and start loving your life that much more. So that's today's show. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, subscribe in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, wherever you listen to the show. Just subscribe so you get downloads whenever I release a new episode. Each show is going to be bite-sized morsels of advice just like today's. I hope you enjoyed it, and I do hope you subscribe. And if you do choose to subscribe, I hope you decide to support the show. There's a link that will take you to anchor.fm where you can make a pledge in support of the show. I'd greatly appreciate it. If you're interested in my coaching you, connect with me on LinkedIn at linkedin.com/IN/the big game hunter. Mention that you listen to the show. I just happen to like knowing I'm helping some folks. And once we're connected, message me about your interest in coaching. We'll set up a free call. We'll get acquainted, see if it makes sense. I'll be back soon with more. And in the meantime, I hope you have a great day. Take care.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.